Hello, everybody. All right, I opened the chat room a little early so that everyone could get organized and settled. And we can talk about a few things before we begin. So I want you to pop on here and say hello. Let me know that you can hear me and see me. Hi, Pam. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. That's Bodhi. He might be practicing with us today. Good morning. Hi, Shelly. Perfect. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you on here today. I have been hosting yoga classes online for a few weeks now, and typically I have less than 10 people. Do not ask me why, but today was the day that's over 60 of you signed up, so I think that's pretty awesome. Hi, Patty. Hi, Kristen. Awesome, so you can see me and hear me. So, couple things. I tried to block the sun out somewhat unsuccessfully, but we're not going to complain about that because the sun's out today. However, I'm going to be doing a silent practice on my side so that there's nothing interfering with the sound of my voice. But what I would recommend that you do on your side is play some tunes that you want to hear. And if you can't find any good ones or you don't think you have anything that would be awesome for this, you can head on over to Spotify and just put in yoga at the top, and there are hundreds and hundreds of really good ones. I typically link some of my playlists in there. I forgot to do it this time, so I'll do that with the replay because I am going to send this to you later. Couple things just to begin with. Clearly, I don't know if you have any injuries or anything that you're working with, so it's one of those things where you're going to need to self-regulate your own practice. Hey, Bodhi. He loves it. As soon as I roll out the yoga mat, he starts walking over. So a couple things that you can have in the practice today, and I know that I'm a little bit dark, but you don't need to see my facial expressions. If you have yoga blocks, fantastic. And if you don't have the luxury of actually having yoga blocks, it doesn't really matter. The intention of a yoga block is to elevate the earth to you. So if you have a couple big wide books like this, which by the way, Christian Northrup, great book. If you have some big books like this, they work great. It's the same thing as a yoga block, and that's just the intention of it, is just to create some elevation. It's nice if they're about the same height. So if you know that you're tight down your back body and down the back of your legs, that's a great thing to do. If you have sensitive knees and you have 2 yoga mats, you can also double your yoga mat, or you can get a hand towel, something that you can just fold and place under your knee when we go into lunges or we're doing any work on the front side of our thighs, and it's putting pressure into your kneecap. Also, another great prop is a yoga strap. I am trying to do as few props as possible so that people aren't feeling like they don't have the right stuff to practice. But when we're doing forward stretches, having a yoga strap is great because obviously it makes your arms a little longer. You can use a housecoat strap, or you can use a long belt. Those work as well. Last thing is, it's always nice to have elevation behind your sitting bones when we're stretching. And again, bolsters are nice, but I actually think it's nicer to have a folded blanket. So I would, if you don't have this, I would go grab yourself a folded blanket, and this will allow you to fold it as much as you want, and you can place it right behind your sits bones so that you're sitting on the front quarter of it, and it'll just prop your tailbone forward. All right, so you have a few minutes. If you need any of those things, please go get them. And otherwise, just start to settle yourself onto your yoga mat. I'm going to start you in a supine position, so lay back onto your back. Let me get my stuff out of the way. Lay onto your back, relaxing your shoulder blades underneath your back. Just tip them under a little bit. Take one leg out to the right, one to the left. Let your toes fall out to the side. Closing your eyes down. Perfect. All right. If you're just joining me now, I'm just inviting you to start your practice lying on your back in a Shavasana position, relaxing your shoulders underneath your back body, arms out to the side, relaxing your feet, opening up your hips. Just taking some nice, calm, deep restorative breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Paul, can you go ask it says my internet is unstable and it shouldn't be, so can you ask them? We have 3 teenagers in the house, so everyone's off the internet. So this would probably be a good time for me to just say that if you have a problem with the connection, in general in Ontario, the internet's been unstable. So if for some reason you have a hard time connecting or I'm freezing or whatnot, and it's getting frustrating for you, I would recommend you hardwire into your Wi-Fi box, modem, I guess the word would be, which I actually am. And if for some reason it's just not working for you, click right out of it, do your own yoga flow, and you will receive the unfrozen version that I've recorded, that I am recording, into your email inbox within an hour or 2, okay? So no point frustrating yourself. If you have an injury, something you're working with, I want you to respect your body, where you are in this moment, which means really the only way you can hurt yourself in yoga is if you start checking out and looking at what the yoga teacher's doing, or in a classroom situation, starting to practice like the person beside you instead of just honoring where you're at. So really take the time to listen in to what your body needs and who you are in this moment today on the practice on your mat, because it changes every day. All right. All right. So in your time, taking a few more deep breaths. And if you're lying on your back, starting to move your fingers and your toes, drawing the seams of your legs together, pointing through your toes, clasping your hands, bringing them up over top of your head, and reaching out through the palms and pressing out through the balls of your feet, and exhaling through your mouth. One more deep breath on your back, pressing through your palms, reaching out above your head, pressing out through the soles of your feet, and exhaling through your mouth. Bringing your knees up, rolling onto your right side, pressing into your left palm, and coming to sit in a cross-legged seated position. Once you're sitting up, just closing your eyes, resting your hands in your lap or wherever is comfortable. And breathing in and out through your nose in a nice, calm, steady tempo. Today's practice is an all levels practice. I am going to be teaching at a level 1, which means that I'm going to be offering a lot of substitutions and modifications and giving you a fair number of cues about hand and foot placement, reminding you how to pair your breath to your movement. And if you have a more developed practice, or you feel like being more adventurous today, you can go ahead and amp up the intensity in whatever way you would like. So that's up to you. And if I'm feeling beyond your level right now, I want you to do the movements that feel intuitive to you at this moment. Okay? Taking your hands, reaching them up to the side, circling up over your head, palms together, gently looking up, arching back any amount. Exhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Placing your palms over top your heart, fingers intertwined, pressing your palms away from you, reaching forward, arching back, chin to chest. Opening up between the shoulder blades. Inhale, circling your hands up over top of your head, looking up any amount. Exhale, hands to heart center, interlacing your fingers. One more time. Pressing forward, arching back, tipping your hips backwards, pressing through your shoulder blades. Inhaling as you bring your arms up, reaching through the crown of your head, and exhaling as you bring your hands down to heart center. One more time. Interlacing, pressing forward, reaching back, breathing into your back. Inhaling as you bring your arms up. At the top, release your hands, bring them back behind you, interlacing your hands behind your back, palms together, pressing back through your fingertips, broadening your collarbones, tucking your chin, reaching through your crown, and exhaling, starting to allow your head to come forward, hinging at the hips, and bringing your palms away from your back any amount. Breathing deep. Inhaling, hands still behind your back. So pressing your fingertips down towards the ground. Sitting up nice and tall, releasing your chin to your chest. Inhaling to center, exhaling, bringing your chin to the ceiling. Inhaling to center, exhaling forward. And going back and forth. Into the ceiling. Let this be dynamic, going back and forth at your own pace, making the movement as big or as small as your neck would like. 3 more. One more. Releasing your hands behind your back, circling your arms up and over top of your head, hands through heart center, in palms over your heart again, flipping your palms, pressing forward through your palms, arching back, chin to your chest, breathing deep between your shoulder blades. One more breath. Inhaling, sweeping your arms up over top, looking up any amount, and exhaling, hands to heart center. Placing your right hand, walking it out to the side, inhaling your left over top of your head, reaching through your left fingertips, pressing down into your left hip, one long line all the way from your left sitting bone all the way to your left middle finger. Option to gently gaze, look up towards the ceiling. Inhaling to center, left arm goes down, right arm inhales up over top of your head, reaching all the way to the left side of your body. One long line. If your neck feels comfortable, take a peek underneath your right armpit. Breathing deep into the right side body and inhaling back up and starting to dynamically move from left to right in whatever way feels most comfortable. Pressing down, taking a nice big bend in your elbow as you come up, opening it up. Tacking your hip down to the ground with each side bend. Keep going. Hopefully you have some music going on, or maybe you're enjoying the silence. And one more. Sitting up nice and tall, going into Sukhasana, which is an easy posture. For me, it feels comfortable sitting like this. For you, it might feel more comfortable to have the edge of a rolled up blanket behind your sits bones, whatever feels comfortable. And I can tell that there's some backlight on my screen, so it might be a little bit difficult to see. I'm sorry about that. I asked Mother Nature to make it cloudy today, but it didn't happen. So just bringing your hips forward, sitting up nice and tall, and walking your fingertips forward, walking them as far forward as you can go with your back body still tacking to the earth. And when you get as far as you can go, releasing your head between your biceps, pressing forward through your fingertips, stretching back through your sitting bones, breathing deep into your back body. Walking your fingertips back, just taking a peek and noticing what one of your shins is in forward, and walking your hands behind you, fingertips facing you, placing your feet on either side of the yoga mat, and just releasing your knees from side to side. Letting your hip roll off the mat as you go from side to side. And coming to stillness, walking your feet at hip distance apart, placing your hands behind you, fingertips towards you, taking an inhale, exhale, pressing into the soles of your feet and your palms, and raising your hip up any amount. Option to just continue looking at the ceiling or tipping your head back any amount. One more deep breath, pressing into your feet, lifting your hips, exhaling, releasing your hips back to the mat. Switching out whatever shin was in front. So putting the opposite one in front, sitting up nice and tall, inhaling and exhaling, starting to walk your fingertips out again. As you get as far as you can go, pressing forward into your fingertips, pressing back through your sitting bones, releasing your head between your biceps, reaching through your crown, breathing deeply into your back body. Two more breaths. Starting to walk your fingertips back, repeating what we just did with the other leg, bringing your legs out, and again, windshield wiping your knees from side to side. Coming to stillness, setting your feet up hip distance apart one more time. Inhaling, pressing down into your feet, exhaling as you raise your hips up. Maybe you go a little bit higher this time. If you have any stress in your neck, just keep your head more forward. Inhaling, exhaling, pressing a little deeper into your feet, raising your hips any amount, and exhaling, bringing your hips back down. Crossing your knees, rolling over your knees, coming into tabletop position. Uh-oh, forgot to set my timer. This might be a 2-hour practice. All right, placing your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, into tabletop posture. And starting to go between cat and cow. So inhaling, dropping your pelvis towards the mat, raising your eyes towards the ceiling, broadening to the collarbones, exhaling, pressing into your hands, belly button to spine, pressing through your shoulder blades, chin to chest. Inhale into cow, dropping your pelvis, gazing up, broadening to the shoulder, the collarbones. Exhaling, pressing down, arching up, going back and forth at your own pace. Let this movement be juicy. It's okay to start moving your body, softening your elbows, waving back and forth between cat and cow. If you do nothing every day and all you did was this would be a beautiful awakening for your spinal column, calming on your nervous system. Breathing deep, keep going, maybe making your movements a little bit bigger. 2 more. One more. Coming to stillness. Taking a peek over your right shoulder, side bending to the right, all the way past your right hip. Coming to neutral and then rotating to the left. Back and forth 2 more times. Opening up your side waist. 1 more. Coming back to neutral, pressing down into your right palm, inhaling your left arm straight ahead at shoulder height, pressing through the fingers, reaching forward, and pressing back through the right heel. 1 long line from your right heel all the way to your left fingertips, keeping your hips parallel to the mat. Inhaling, pressing forward, reaching back, feeling the tension. Exhaling, left elbow, right knee, curling in. Inhaling, pressing out. And back and forth, curling in and out. Curling in, hovering your knee as close to your chin as you can, and then pressing back out for 3 more. 3. And 2. And 1. Holding it in, pressing, holding it in. And exhale, bringing it back. Kicking your right foot out to the side, pressing back with your left leg. I'm sorry about the view. Coming into a side bend. So you're standing on the outer edge of your left foot, pressing down into your right shin, and placing your hand directly underneath your shoulder, inhaling your left arm up and over top. Option to raise your left leg or to leave it on the ground. And as you come up, pressing up and side bending to the left. Keep going, right hand down, inhaling your left arm up and over top. Keep going. Creating length, expanding into your side body. For 2 more. And 1 more. Hands back down, coming back into tabletop. Getting your dog to move. Inhaling this time, inhaling your right arm forward, pressing back to your left leg. Finding your balance. Hips are stacked, parallel to the ground. Reaching forward through your right fingertips, palm facing in, and pressing back, left leg at hip height. Exhale, right elbow, left knee. And inhale to reach. Keep going. Tucking in, expanding out. 4 more. And 3. 2. And 1. Reaching and tucking in, holding it in, and exhaling back down. Bringing your left leg back behind you, or you're placing your right foot directly out to the side, coming into a side posture with your hand underneath your left shoulder, inhaling your right arm up and over top of your head. 1 long line from the right fingertip all the way to the right foot. Inhaling to come up, exhaling to side bend to the right, and hand back down, reaching over top. Keep going. Enjoying the expansiveness and the motion as you go. Pairing your breath with your movement, in and out through your mouth. 3 more. Sorry, I'm not a great counter. And 2. And last one. Coming back to tabletop, placing your knees out to the side, feet together, and pressing your hips back into child's pose. Reaching your hands forward, or if your shoulders are sore, walking your hands back behind you and releasing your head towards the floor. This position is called child's pose. I'm pretty sure it's most people's favorite asana in the whole yoga practice. And it's the place that you can return to often in your yoga practice. You don't need me to cue it. If you feel like your breath is getting ahead of you, or you are wanting, desiring, needing any type of breath or rest rather, release back into child's pose. So when your knees are apart and your feet are together and you sink your hips back, you'll feel more of an opening in your lower back. If you do child's pose with your knees and your feet together, you'll feel the release more through your mid back. So you go in the direction that feels good to you. When you're ready, coming up, placing your hands ahead of you, setting up for downward dog. So fingertips are forward on your mat. Every one of your fingers are spread wide apart. The creases of your wrists are parallel with the front edge of your yoga mat. Tuck your toes, legs are hip distance apart. Inhaling, press down into your hands, hinging your hips back. So pressing strongly through your fingertips, bending your knees, pressing up through your sitting bones. This is an inversion posture. What you would like is one long line from your middle finger all the way to your sitting bones. So since most of us are not on the cover of a yoga journal, most of us will not have our knees straight, nor will we have our feet all the way to the mat. So for most of us, having our heels lifted and our knees bent feel good. Starting to walk your dog, bending one knee, pressing your other heel towards the ground, and going back and forth. Opening up the back of your legs, keeping the weight distributed the same between your left arm and your right arm, pressing back, relaxing your head between your biceps, breathing deep, stilling both your legs, allowing your heels to sink a little bit closer towards the ground. And if at any moment you want to have a rest, just bring your knees to the mat. And if you're moving with me, inhaling, coming forward into a plank, waving forward, all the way forward onto your tippy toes, coming forward so that your shoulders are directly over top of your wrists, pressing back through your heels, pushing down into your hands, doming through your upper back, reaching forward with your crown, lifting your belly button to your spine so that there's a small doming action. You're lifting through your hips, you're not feeling yourself sinking down. Feel the shake, active pose. You're contracting the front of your thighs, lifting your kneecaps, pressing down, expanding up, releasing your knees to the mat, untuck your toes, and lower down in one long line. Placing your hands up by your face, palms down, feet are hip distance apart, press firmly into the top of your feet, pressing down into your pelvis. Inhale, and raise your upper body up a few inches. Breathing deeply, using only the muscles of your back body to raise your back, looping your shoulder blades back, inhaling one more deep breath, and exhaling down. Forehead to the mat. Inhale, press down, lifting up again into baby cobra, hovering your hands off the mat. Pressing firmly into the top of your feet. And exhale all the way down. Placing your hands by your shoulders, tuck your toes, press back through tabletop, lifting to downward facing dog. Keep going, waving forward into plank, option to lower your knees, releasing your knees to the mat or coming all the way down in one long line in chaturanga. Placing your hands on either side of your mat, fingers down, elbows raised, waving up. Exhaling down, waving up, all the way down. One more time, waving up, exhaling all the way down, pressing back through tabletop, and lifting to downward facing dog. Looking forward, walking your feet all the way to the front of your yoga mat. And if you don't have your blocks or your books beside you, always nice to place them on either side of the front edge of your yoga mat. So bending your knees in a standing forward fold. Feet are hip distance apart. Tented fingers or hands on your blocks, releasing the crown of your head towards the ground, raising your tailbone towards the sky. Breathing deep, Placing your hands on your shins, inhaling to halfway lift. Bending your knees, oh hi. Exhaling to fold. Inhaling, waving to halfway lift. And exhaling to fold. Inhaling, starting to roll your body up, walking your hands all the way up your body. Head is the last to rise. Inhaling, your arms up and over top. Palms together, exhaling to heart center. Closing your eyes, pressing firmly into your palms, broadening through your collarbones, pressing down into all four corners of your feet, gently lifting through your inner arch, contracting the front of your thighs, lifting your kneecaps, tailbone reaching down towards the ground, raising up through the crown of your head. Inhale, sweep your arms up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees all the way down. Halfway lift, reaching forward. Exhale, both hands down. Take a big step back with your right leg, releasing your right leg knee to the mat. Untuck your toes. Inhaling your hands to your, your waist. Letting your body release forward, opening up your right groin. Letting your left knee slide forward towards your left toes. Inhaling your arms up. Exhaling, cactusing your arms, bending your elbows back, broadening through your shoulders. Inhaling back up. Exhaling, placing your hands down, coming up onto your left toes, your right toes, pressing back into plank, releasing your knees to the mat and lowering down in one long line. Inhaling into cobra, exhaling back down, pressing back through tabletop, coming back into downward facing dog. Inhaling your right leg up, exhaling, bringing your right leg through to your right hand, releasing your left knees, untuck your toes, inhaling, hands to your hips, pressing forward into a modified crescent lunge. If you're feeling any crunching into your lower back, lift up out of your hips more. Breathing deep. Inhaling your arms up. Exhaling into cactus, pressing your elbows back, broadening through the collarbones. Inhaling back up. Exhaling, hands back down. Tucking your left toes, this time springing forward to the front of your mat. Into halfway lift, knees bent. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, folding forward. All the way down, inhaling to halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, left leg back, left knee to the mat. Untuck your toes, this time inhaling right up. Exhaling, cactus your arms, pressing forward. Inhaling back up. Exhaling, hands down, step back to plank. Lowering down as chaturanga or dropping your knees down and coming down in one long line. Inhaling to upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling through tabletop or pressing back, all meeting in downward facing dog. Bend your knees. 3 breaths. If you're in child's pose, coming back up into downward facing dog, taking a peek forward, look where you're going, step or jump to the front of your mat, inhaling to halfway lift, exhaling to fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up, exhale, keep folding all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, both hands down, step back to plank or modified plank, pressing back through your heels, reaching out through the crown of your head. Letting your ankles go to the right, going to side plank. So 2 options. Stacking your feet, so you're on the knife edge of your right foot, or option to bring your left leg forward halfway up your mat. Right arm underneath your right shoulder, pressing down into your feet, pressing down into your hands, inhaling your left arm up. Breathing deep. Option to bring your arm forward, your left arm forward of your mat. Exhale, bring your left hand down, step back to plank, and go through your flow. Releasing down, inhaling to upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, meeting in downward facing dog. Inhaling your right leg up, stacking your right hip on top of your left, bending your knee, pressing equally through both your hands. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, bring your right foot through to your right hand. Setting up for warrior two, spin your back heel down on a 90-degree angle. Inhale your arms up and out to the side. So finding your warrior position, and if you'd prefer to have your hands to your waist, please do this as an open hip posture. Your hips should be open to the left side of your mat. Left leg is straight, right knee is bent as close to 90 degrees. When you're ready, inhaling your arms out to the side, looking over the gaze of your right middle finger, relaxing your shoulders, breathing deep. Taking a peek down at your right knee and making sure that your right knee is tracking in line with your second and third toes of your right foot. Reversing your warrior, releasing back, reaching forward, reaching back with your right hand, pressing into your right knee. Inhaling back to warrior two. Exhale, extended side of warrior, extended side angle. Right elbow to right knee, inhaling your left hand up and over top of your head. Inhaling back to warrior two. Exhale, windmill your arms down, stepping back to plank and going through your vinyasa. Leaning back in downward facing dog for 3 breaths. So this is your option where you can go into child's pose. Breathing deep. One more breath. Waving forward into plank and going into side plank on the left-hand side. So making sure your left hand is underneath your left shoulder, stacking your legs, reaching your right arm up, or option to bring your right foot forward halfway up your mat. Pressing into your feet, lifting your hips, looking up, or reaching forward with your right hand. 2 more breaths. Press down, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands down, back to plank and through your flow. And back to downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up, stacking your left hip on top of your right, bending your knee, lifting it to the ceiling, opening up all the way up the left-hand side. Inhale to straighten your leg. Exhale, bring your left foot through to your left hand. Warrior two on the other side. So heel to arch alignment, releasing your right heel down on a 90-degree angle. Inhale your arms up and resting for a moment with your hands on your hips. So if you feel like you need to broaden your stance, just take a moment and step a little bit wider. You should feel the effort and the ease and the scissoring of the legs. So you're pressing out through your right heel, but you're also bending forward into your left knee. When you're ready, inhaling your arms out to the side, your drishti and your gaze is over top of your left middle finger. Breathing deep. Reverse your warrior. Left palm back, reaching back, still pressing into your left knee forward. Inhaling back to warrior two, releasing into extended side angle, left knee, left arm to left knee, right arm up and over top of your head. Pressing through your right fingertips, all the way into the outer edge of your right foot. Option to bring your gaze toward the ceiling underneath your right arm. Inhaling back to warrior two. Exhale, windmill your arms down. Coming back to plank and going through your flow. So knees down, back, all the way down into cobra or chaturanga to up dog, meeting and downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Take what you need. One more breath. Raise your head, look forward, step or jump to the front of your mat into halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, both hands down, step back to plank, go through your flow or skip the flow and meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg up. Exhale, bring your right foot through to your right hand, warrior one. Flip your back heel down on a 45-degree angle. Inhale, all the way forward. Option to keep your hands at your waist. Warrior one has your hips centering towards the front edge of your mat. If that's uncomfortable for you and you feel a lot of torque in your left knee, then just simply pop onto the ball of your foot and come forward into a high lunge. Otherwise, 45-degree angle and pressing forward. Inhaling your arms up. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale. Bring your hands behind you. Interlace your hands, reach back down your back body, broadening forward. Exhale, humble warrior. Hinging forward at the hips, bringing your right shoulder inside the line of your right knee. Releasing your head towards the mat. Inhaling your hands up and over top your head, any amount. Steadying your legs. Inhale, hinging back up. Raising your arms up. Exhale, hands down. Stepping back to plank, going to your flow or meeting in downward facing dog. And 3 breaths. Inhaling your left leg up. Exhale, bring your left foot through to your left hand. Spin your back heel down on a 45. Inhaling into warrior one. So finding your foundation. Left knee is tracking forward with your left toes. Relaxing your shoulders. Cactus your arms. Press back with your elbows, broadening through your chest. Inhale, back up. Exhale, bring your hands behind your back, interlace your palms, press your fingertips down, broadening through your chest, reaching back, and exhale, humble warrior. So hinging forward at the hips, left shoulder inside left knee, releasing your crown towards the floor, hands over top of your head. Breathing deep. Doing your best to keep your foundation stable. Still bending into your left knee, pressing back to the outer edge of your right foot. Inhale, rising back up. Bringing your arms up and over top of your head. Releasing your arms down, stepping back to plank, and going to your vinyasa or skipping the vinyasa and meeting in downward facing dog or pressing back like I am into child's pose. Inhaling, coming up, tucking your toes, and coming back up to sit on your heels. So if this is really uncomfortable for you, part of yoga is strengthening the joints that don't get to strengthen. That's quite often why our toes and our ankles and our wrists hurt, is because we've prevented proper movement and motion from happening. So a great thing to do in yoga is start to redevelop the flexibility and the strength that you're looking for. So if you have the ability to be on your toe pads, please do. And the moment it starts to feel too uncomfortable, then you can go ahead and flatten your feet out. Okay? Sitting up nice and tall. Inhaling your arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Tuck your chin. Reaching forward with your palms, pressing back to your back body, just like before. Inhaling your arms up over top of your head. Option to look up, contain your ribs. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more time. Interlace your fingers, pressing forward with your palms, letting your hips release backwards, pressing forward. Inhale, rising up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. One more time. Flipping your palms, reaching forward, pressing through your shoulder blades. Inhaling, hands up over top of your head. This time, releasing your hands, placing them behind your back. Interlace your fingers, press back, roll your shoulder heads back. Inhale, looking forward. Exhaling, hinging forward at the hips, placing the crown of your head on the ground. Coming up onto the top of your head, and inhaling your hands up and over top of your shoulders. Breathing deep, pressing down into your crown, lifting your shoulders, reaching towards the ceiling. Releasing back, hinging back up to sitting position. Bringing your arms up and over top of your head. And hands to heart center. Pressing up, sitting into sitting position. So your hips should be, your knees should be hip distance apart. Feel free to flatten your feet out any amount. Placing your fingertips towards your spine. Curving your shoulders back, tucking your shoulder blades in. Elbows bringing right back. Inhaling, pressing your hips forward, broadening through the collarbone into camel. Option to raise your gaze towards the ceiling, pressing forward your hips, opening your heart. Breathing deep. Coming back to sitting position, releasing your hands and just sitting back onto your knees. We're going to do 2 more rounds of camel. And you can build on it as you feel comfortable and fit. Otherwise, you can do exactly what we just did. Inhaling to come up. Option to tuck your toes, especially if you're going to bring your hands back. If you have blocks and you would prefer to have the blocks behind you to bring the ground closer to you, you're going to set them up, moving the dog toy on either side of your ankles, so you'll be able to reach back for it. So option 1 is to place your hands on your back body, spinning your shoulder blades open, tucking your elbows back, inhaling and then exhaling, press forward into your hips and reaching back. If you're coming with me, you're going to reach your hands back to either your blocks or the back of your ankles. Inhale, pressing forward with your hips, expanding forward through your chest. Option to look up or dropping your head back if that's what's comfortable. And when you're ready, coming out of it in the exact reverse that you went back into it. 2 more breaths. Inhale, bringing your body forward, hinging back, untucking your toes, and sitting back onto your heels. Our ability to extend backwards over our spine is one of the most nourishing things you can do for your spinal column. And for a lot of us, all of us really, we spend a lot of time in our forward flexed position. So this is a really nurturing, although challenging position for the body. So inhale, come back up to your starting posture. Option to continue on with the first one, where you're sitting up nice and tall like this, expanding forward any amount, or inhaling, pressing forward, and reaching back with your hands to the blocks or to your heels. Pressing forward with your hips, arching through your spinal column. Deep breathing. And when you're ready, coming forward, hinging your hips and sitting back. Releasing forward with your knees together into child's pose. Walking your hands back beside your body, palms up. Inhale, sitting up, reaching your hands forward, setting up for downward facing dog, tucking your toes and pressing back into downward dog. Looking forward, inhale, walk or jump to the front of your mat. Inhaling to halfway lift, exhaling to fold. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Turning your body, taking a big step to the right side of your mat to a wide-legged forward fold. So roughly setting up so that your feet are directly underneath your wrists, making sure that your feet are on the same line. So your toes are on the same line and your heels are on the same line. Inhaling, bringing your hands behind you, tucking in your shoulder blades. Inhaling to great length. Exhale, hinging forward at your hips, all the way to 90 degrees. Releasing your hands down and releasing the crown towards the floor. Walking your hands back any amount, keeping them at shoulder distance apart, and adjusting your side and your feet as you feel necessary. So inhaling to great length, exhaling, releasing your crown towards the ground. Feel free to micro bend your knees, finding that space between effort and ease. Inhale, bringing your hands forward underneath your face, pressing down into your left palm, inhaling your right arm up and over top of your head. So pressing down into your left palm, reaching up with your right hand, reaching forward with the crown of your head and pressing back through your sits bones. You're expanding into all four corners of the room. Inhaling and exhaling. Exhale, bring your right hand through, reach all the way over. Hold on to anything you can get on your left leg. So whether that's your ankle, your foot, or your calf, reaching forward with your left fingertips as far forward as you can on tented fingers. Pressing back through your sits bones, reaching forward through your left fingertips and twisting your body to the left. Breathing deep. Releasing your right hand, bringing it back underneath your face. Pressing down into your right hand, inhaling your left arm up. Pressing down into your right hand, lifting up through your left. Doing your best to flatten your back. So finding that space between reaching forward with your crown and releasing back through your sits bones. Last breath. Exhale, weave your left arm through, reaching on anywhere onto your left leg, your right leg rather, and then reaching forward with your right fingertips, crawling them forward onto your finger pads, pressing forward into your right fingertips, pressing back through your sitting bones, and reaching your left hand through anywhere to your right foot. Releasing your left hand back down, placing your right hand under, potentially just walking your feet in just a little bit for extra traction. Inhaling to halfway lift, bringing your hands back to your waist and inhaling, rising all the way up. Pressing into your right knee, springing forward to the front of your mat. Inhaling your arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands down, step back into downward facing dog. Don't worry, we're not flowing. Setting up for pigeon. Inhaling your right leg back. Exhaling, bringing your right knee right through to your right wrist. Walking your left leg straight back behind you. Inhaling, coming up onto your fingertips. Centering your hips to the front of the mat. Couple things. If you are uncomfortable, I'll show you in a moment. If your knees hurt in this posture, I'll show you how to do a figure four. So just wait half a moment. If you're coming with me into pigeon, just taking a peek down at your right knee and making sure your right knee is on the outside of your right hip. Doesn't really matter where your right foot is. It doesn't have to be parallel with the front edge of your mat. So inhale to sit up. Exhale, walking your hands forward any amount. Coming onto your forearms or releasing your head all the way down onto the mat. If your right hip is feeling like it's in outer space, grabbing a block or some sort of cushion and propping it up onto your right hip. If you're coming with me instead into figure four, because your knees are sore in pigeon, just release back onto your back. Bending your right knee, place your right ankle on top of your left thigh, and either gently pressing your right knee away from you, or placing your hands through, holding onto the back of your left thigh, and gently pressing your left knee towards you while you open up your right knee with your right elbow. Whatever posture you're in, give a few more minutes. Breathing deeply, consciously moving your breath into those places that feel tight and sore. Sending your hips some love. Two more breaths. Inhale, walking your hands back up and sitting in a nice forward pigeon with your chest broad to the front of your mat, up on tented fingertips or blocks. And if you'd like to come with me, bending your left knee, any amount, flexing your left foot, pressing down into your left hand, reaching back with your right, holding on to the inner, the outer line of your left ankle, centering your chest to the front of your mat, kicking into your hand, and then bringing your heel towards your sitting bone. Big stretch. If you can't quite reach and hold on to anything, that's okay. Just reach back with your hand and flex your left ankle. And bring your ankle towards your glute any amount. Releasing your hand, releasing your foot, bringing your hand back down, pressing down into your hands, coming back into downward facing dog. If you're in figure four, just letting your knees windshield wipe from side to side. If you're in downward facing dog, pedal out your legs, and when you're ready, inhaling your left leg up, exhale, left knee to left wrist, walking your right leg back. Inhaling for length, and slowly, when you're ready, exhaling and walking your hands down. If your mind has wandered, just gently and lovingly bringing yourself back to the present. Breathing a little deeper into your hips. Option to stay here, or if you're going to come in to the next posture, walking your hands back up, coming on to tented fingertips, bending your right knee, bringing your right heel towards your glute, pressing into your left hand, reaching back with your right, and bringing your right heel towards your glute. I feel like I reach back with the same hand. That's okay. Breathing deep, feeling the stretch all the way down the front of the right thigh, all the way into the hip flexor. Releasing your right foot, pressing down into your hands, and everyone meeting back in downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet. And looking forward of your mat, walk or hop your way to the top of your mat. Inhaling to halfway lift. Exhaling to forward fold. Walking your feet out to hip distance. Releasing the crown towards the ground, hips to the sky. Option to hold on to opposite elbows. And releasing your head between your biceps. Inhaling into the back body. Releasing your hands. Inhaling, hinging up, arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart center. Just going to move towards you, setting up for tree pose. Placing your hands on the hips, stepping firmly into your left foot. Bend your right knee and place the sole of your right foot on the ground, on your left shin, or on the inside line of your upper left thigh. Pressing firmly with your right foot into your left thigh, feeling the scissoring action, reaching up through the crown, bringing your hands to heart center, and centering your gaze, otherwise known as your drishti, 4 or 5 feet in front of your mat. Wherever you are, finding your presence. And if you're ready, growing your branches up and over top of your head. An option to bring your gaze up the wall towards the ceiling. Remembering to step firmly into all 4 corners of your left foot. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Release your knee, hold it at 90 degrees, and then place it back down. Bend your knees, arms up. Inhale, look up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Going into tree on the opposite side, stepping firmly into your right leg, and then bringing your left foot where you're most comfortable. Pausing for a moment with your hands on your hips, centering your hips to the front of your mat. When you're ready, bringing your hands to your heart center. Pressing firmly with your palms together, broadening through the shoulders and the collarbones. If you're ready, inhaling, bringing your arms up. Option to look up. Exhale, bringing your hands to heart center, releasing your left foot and holding it 90 degrees in front of you, and then releasing it to the mat. Inhale, arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center, squatting down, all the way down. When you're ready, sitting back onto your back body, releasing all the way back down onto your back. And if that was messy, doesn't matter. Just come all the way down so you're lying on your back. Inhaling your knees up to your chest, squeezing your knees in. Inhale, bring your forehead to your knees, squeezing in to a tight ball. Releasing your head back to the mat, bringing your feet down, setting up for bridge pose. So placing your feet underneath your knees, hip distance apart, hands on either side of your body, palms down. Inhale, exhale, press down into your feet, lifting your hips, tucking your shoulder blades underneath your back body, interlacing your hands, pressing down into your arms, pressing into your soles, lifting your pelvis towards the sky. Deep breath. Two more breaths. Releasing your hands and slowly releasing your back body, one vertebrae at a time, all the way back down to the ground. Taking your feet to either side of your mat, releasing your knees together, resting your palms on your belly. Just taking a moment. As we go into our second set, option to come up into Dhanurasana or wheel pose. I'm not going to demo that today, but if you have that in your practice, on this second set, you can go ahead and go into wheel. So bringing your feet back underneath, setting up for your second set, hands on either side. Inhaling, exhaling, pressing down into your feet, lifting your hips up, pressing up into wheel or placing your arms underneath your hands, interlace. Pressing into your feet, lifting your hips, telescoping your chest towards your face. Go a little higher, keeping your knees in line with your hips. Press down, lift up for one more breath. And exhale, releasing all the way back down. Inhale, bring your knees towards your chest, gently drawing your knees in to opposite armpits. Placing both your hands behind the back of your thighs, rolling back and forth on the whole length of your spine. Back and forth. And on your second or third breath, come all the way forward till you're sitting. I'm going to reach towards you. I'm sorry, I can tell that I have a lot of backlight on here. Every time we do this yoga class, I move it around the room. And I know that next time I need to turn it. So I'm sorry that I'm quite dark on the screen. Not a lot I can do about it right now. So inhaling your legs out to both sides, coming into a wide leg forward fold. So if you're like the majority of the population, and I have been for so many years, you probably feel like you're quite tight in your back body. So a couple options for you. One would be to roll up the edge of a blanket. And it's not to sit on the whole blanket, it's to sit on the edge of the blanket. Because the point of sitting on the edge of the blanket is it tips your pelvis forward. Flex both your feet, an option to bend your knees substantially. So if you bend your knees like this, again, it allows you to get your hips forward. So whatever posture you're in, your hands may be placed behind you. Inhaling, pressing out through both soles of your feet, flexing your feet, reaching through your crown. And exhale, leading with your chest, coming forward any amount. Let it be active at this point. Inhale to create length. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, more length. Exhale, waving down any amount. Two more times. Inhale, Create some length and exhale right down. And when you're ready, allowing you to come forward any amount and let it be passive, meaning you can rest your head and drop your head towards the ground any amount. Continuing to press out through the soles of your feet. Breathing into your back body, closing your eyes. Inhale, walking your hands up. Reaching underneath your hands, underneath your thighs, bringing them forward, placing both your legs straight forward into Dandasana or staff pose. So pressing both your hands down by your hips, reaching forward. Bend your left knee, bring the sole of your left foot inside your right thigh into Jana Shirshasana, reaching back, removing the flesh away from your sits bones, centering your body to your right leg, inhaling your arms up, exhaling, folding forward. So placing your hands on the ground, leading with your chest, or walking your hands forward, and if at all possible, holding onto your feet and releasing your head towards your right knee. Letting it be as dynamic or as passive as you'd like. Inhale, walking your body up. Exhale, bringing your left leg forward, bending your right knee, placing the sole inside your left thigh. Inhaling for length, flexing your left foot, and exhaling, releasing over your left thigh. Inhale, walking your body up. Exhale, bringing your knees together. So I'm just turning so you can get a better view of me. And exhaling, rolling your body down one vertebrae at a time. When you get all the way to the bottom, draw both your knees into your chest. Squeezing your knees in, lengthen your tailbone towards the back edge of your mat. Bring your arms through for happy baby. Reaching to the outside of your feet, bending your knees to 90 degrees. Pressing your soles into your hands and your hands into your soles. And gently rocking back and forth from right to left. Releasing your feet, bringing your knees back into your chest, squeezing your knees in, raising your forehead to your knees, squeezing in, holding onto your right knee, extending your left leg forward to your mat, pressing through the sole of your left foot, releasing it all the way down to the mat and bringing your right knee across your body, all the way to the left side, reaching your right arm out to the right. Option to look over your right shoulder. Nice deep side twist. Finding the balance between bringing your right knee to the ground and keeping your right shoulder. Opening up all the way down the right side ribs. Closing your eyes. Inhale, bringing your right knee back up. Bending your left knee to meet your right, squeezing in, forehead to knees. Exhaling, pressing out through your right leg, all the way down to the ground, allowing your left knee to come across your body, resting on the right side. Reaching out through the left arm, gaze over your left shoulder. Inhale, slowly bringing your left knee back up to your chest. Bending your right knee to join your left, squeezing in, forehead to knees, squeezing in, big bowl. Exhaling, releasing your head to the mat, bringing your feet down. Just spending the next 30 seconds or so moving your body whatever way you'd like so that you can set yourself up for Shavasana. And when you're ready, releasing your back body down to the mat, taking up lots of space, bringing your left heel to the left corner, your right heel to the right corner, releasing your toes out to either side. Pressing into the back of your head, tucking your shoulder blades gently under your back body, opening your arms up, palms to the sky. Closing your eyes. I'm going to read a passage from Dana Faulds called Just for Now. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you and the infinite expanse of the sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, with awakened energy tingling in your hands and feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are. So fully alive that the world looks different, newly born and vibrant. Just for now. When you're ready, bring the line of your legs together, bringing your ankles together, pressing out through the balls of your feet, and inhaling your arms up and over top of your head, reaching through your fingertips, pressing out through the balls of your feet, lifting your rib cage to the sky, and exhale. Rolling on to the right side, bringing your knees up nice and close to your chest, cradling your head under your right elbow. And when you're ready, pressing into your left palm, keeping your eyes closed, sitting yourself up all the way into a cross-legged seated position. Resting your palms in your lap. Inhaling your arms up over top of your head, reaching up, looking up any amount. Exhale, bringing your hands to heart center, pressing your palms together, thumbs into your sternum, and bowing your head. Thank you for meeting me on the mat this morning. You have no idea how much it means to me. Bowing your head. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. See, now you can see me. Just going to open up the chat bar. I want to say thank you so much for spending the last 75 minutes with me. And I know I said this already, but I do apologize. I didn't realize that, I should have realized that the light in the back would make me so dark. So for all the times you didn't know what I was doing and you just followed your own cues, I will fix it for next time. I hope you have an incredible day. So wonderful to have you all here. I will edit this a little bit and I'll send out the recording so you can enjoy it. And I'll also be posting any future classes that I have going forward. I'm going to go approximately every 2 days or so. All right. Have an incredible day. Get out in the sunshine and love yourself. You're so welcome.